Hello there. The Soong family of the United Federation of Planets are civilian scientists. Their origins trace back to the 20th century line started from Adam Soong. Soong was a brilliant geneticist but a flawed human being, as were, regrettably, several of his creations. Beautiful beings with flaws. But one was an exceptional human being, and although she had her genetic flaws that were theoretically curable, she was his greatest creation. Though he himself may have been problematic, Corey was an exceptional person. Before we get started, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and hit the bell notification icon if you feel you enjoy this video and the rest of the content on this channel. Up to now, this is the third episode I've done in the Soong family tree series. And let's get exploring Corey. Corey was created as a genetic clone. It's unknown if she was the clone of an original person, an original template of some description, or if she was perhaps created using Soong's own DNA with certain selective modifications. It's not entirely clear. It's also, to be fair, on a biological level, not entirely clear if she was biologically related to Soong and was merely his adoptive daughter, in a manner of speaking. Either way, she's still a Soong, and a fantastic one at that. She was the latest in a long line of what are arguably failed, monstrous, unethical experiments conducted by Adam Soong to create an evolution of the human species. The perfect human specimen. Basically an augment, but without many of the augmentations. But there were flaws in his creative process, resulting in multiple attempts early on, all of which failed, most of which failed to gestate and take in the first place, and the few that were born either didn't live very long or died after a few months or at best a few years. The only exception was his last attempt, Corey. But unfortunately, Corey developed an unusual genetic disorder that meant that pollution in the atmosphere and extreme UV light was fatal to her, meaning she was a shut-in for her entire life. Well, Soong attempted to find a cure to this illness that his daughter had. Though it's not entirely clear what the other daughters of Soong died from, they all seem to die from various different genetic ailments. Some of these who were named were Persephone Soong, Desponia Soong, Persephata Soong, Prosperina Soong, and Artemis Soong, all of whom regrettably died very early on in their lives. Corey, again, did survive into adulthood, and by the year 2024 she was an intelligent, strong-willed, and beautiful young woman. Soong was still trying to find a cure for her ailment. Now, without going into Soong's story too much, he sort of struck a deal with a person he didn't really know who was striking a deal with, that person being Q. Given the cure, Corey was able to go outside for the first time, but this cure was not perfect and it began to degrade and her body began to reject it. Q, however, contacted her digitally through a bit of manipulation of a 3D interface system she was utilizing, and he offered to give her a permanent cure in exchange for a little help. She would accept the cure and she would hack her father's files, learning the truth of her existence, that she was a clone and merely, from his point of view, the latest in a long line of experiments, and his real fight to save her wasn't necessarily from a place of fatherly love, but more from scientific determination to not have yet another experiment fail. That if she died, he'd probably just create another one. This realization that her father's love was somewhat conditional, so to speak, was of course a very hurtful thing for her to learn. She would hack her father's computer, destroy many of his records, and confront him over this issue. His defenses, of course, were fairly feeble and transparent to her, and she would then reject her father's teaching and help to expose his illicit work. and now able to freely move about in the daylight, she was once again contacted by yet another relatively omnipotent being, that being a representative of the group known as the Travelers. The Travelers, we learn now, are a far more vast and important organization of individuals than we previously thought. As a faction, the Travelers are not any one particular species. In fact, they hail from many different races, including humans, Romulans and others, and they also operate time agents, and they watch the universe. The universe, as they would phrase it, is beautiful and wondrous, but also incredibly delicate and always a thread away from utterly unraveling. And they help to maintain it and have to learn a delicate balance between interfering and not interfering, often sending agents through time, such as Gary 7, to sort of monitor all of these actions throughout time. It turns out that Wesley Crusher, whom had previously become a Traveler, Wesley Crusher of course being the son of Dr. Beverly Crusher of the Enterprise D, as well as himself a Starfleet officer, was now a full member of the Travelers and one of these sort of overseers and administrators of that organization. He had reached out to Corey to recruit her to become a Traveler herself, and she would be given two choices, basically the blue pill and the red pill. Go about your life, go through door number 1 and have a nice normal life and have no adventures, but you can live in peace and you can live happy and you can be yourself for the first time in your life. Or go through door number 2, come with us, we can't guarantee your safety, it'll be an adventure, it'll be dangerous, but you'll see wonderful things, wondrous things, magnificent things, monstrous things, but you will do so much good for the universe itself and be part of something so much bigger than not only yourself, not your country, not even just your planet, but you will be part of something transgalactic, multidimensional, temporal, and bigger than what you can comprehend. And of course she picked door number 2, resulting in Corey becoming only the second human, we know for a fact, to become a Traveler. Her fate from there is as yet undetermined, but is likely a brilliant future for this brilliant human. And that, in a nutshell, is Corey Soong. Again, we don't know if she's biologically his daughter. My interpretation was he probably had a daughter originally that he cloned. I mean, he went off the deep end for some reason. My personal interpretation was, again, he had a daughter, that daughter died, and he was basically trying to bring her back. But also at the same time, being, a bit mad, he was trying to improve upon her at the same time. But those improvements were a flawed process, resulting in a lot of death and a lot of tragedy, which was one of the many reasons, as it was pointed out to him, why such genetic experiments were banned in the first place. Because nobody wants another Khan. And again, there we have it. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon, because that is the real subscribe button, because unless you hit that and you watch the videos quite often, YouTube won't actually recommend this channel, and my channel is growing, and I appreciate everyone that has subscribed so far and is watching and hopefully enjoying this content. Let me know in the comments below where you stand on the Soong family and on Corey's membership within it. Bear in mind, I know that Star Trek Picard is something, although I don't think it should be, but it is something of a divisive series, and the Soong family overall is a complicated mishmash of genius and sort of skewed ethics. Even the better members are a little, bonkers. But we all know where it's going, where it's heading. One day in the 24th century, something brilliant and kind of pale gold and fully functional will be created. that is the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye. I'd just like to say a thank you to everyone for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoy making these. If you did enjoy it, please consider giving a like, share and a subscribe, and maybe checking out the other videos on the screen right now, and in the description box below there are links to my other social media accounts.